and thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. We got my boy Matt in the Zoom box today from Whiteboy Lockdown Radio. Before we get started, I'm going to let you know I watched Matt in Viking Fitness before I even had a YouTube. I used to watch those guys a lot. I unsubscribed from them. I subscribed back, unsubscribed. Matt is very outspoken about how he feels about his race and how he feels about politics. And the thing that made me like unsubscribe sometime, like it's because we not used to this. Like black people, as black, we openly say the C word. We openly let people know how we feel about white people. We openly say how we feel about other races with no problem. But it was just new to me to hear a white person actually doing the same thing that we do, and it was kind of different. It was harder for me to take it. I'm like, you go check out Whiteboy Lockdown Radio. Go check out his page, and that's why I said, bro, I'm running right into this, bro, because you have a lot of pride for your race. And listen, we both from Florida. You from St. Lucie. I'm from Palm Beach. St. Lucie though is if I'm not mistaken, that place is very diverse. It's not like it's a white town, and I'm like, where did this come from? So my question to you as we start is, did you have this much pride for your race before you went into the Florida Department of Corrections?
Before I answer that right quick, I just want to give your channel a shout out, man. I didn't know that you're subscribed to Viking, but I had seen you comment on my videos before, and I appreciate that. And I gave you a shout out in my last live. And just really quick before I answer that, which I will, and all questions nothing's off here, man. And I did this video because, well, I did this video just with my gut feeling. With YouTube, a lot of times people will try to do interviews and stuff because they have animosity or whatever, and then want to make these exposed videos. But I took my gut feeling with you, and I already can tell within 2 minutes of this interview, it's going to go good. When you say you're not comfortable with that, I understand that, and I respect you saying that. In prison, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of the C word, the C word, the C word. And it's just like if a white dude goes against the grain with it and maybe gives a little bit of that back, now we're a racist. But wait a minute. No one's really thinking about what's really getting said before that. But so anyway, I wanted to give your channel a shout out, man. I asked to do this interview because I've checked your channel out before. I'm subscribed to it. I don't watch all the videos, man, but just last week I saw, I don't know what his name is, the Spanish guy, he's all tatted up, somehow, some way, he's in the cell, and he was speaking about, I commented, he's telling straight facts, and he is, and he was breaking down, like, I think he said payday or Snickers on the bed. He was telling some facts about white dudes, man, and he spoke the truth. But back to your question, okay? South Florida, it is very diverse in South Florida. Did I feel the way that I did before I went to prison? Not as much is the answer to that, not as much. When I went to prison, it's a real reality check, man. Before prison, though, comes jail. And I would say for Florida, and you could probably recognize with this, but I would say for Florida, Orlando on down, whether it's Orlando, Brevard, St. Lucie, Martin, Palm Beach, Broward, especially Palm Beach on down. You know, it's tough down here for white dudes, man. A lot of times doing YouTube, you see the West Coast politics versus the East Coast and this and that. But man, and I say this a lot on my channel, you know, out there in Cali and stuff, man, you get booked and you go in, you have a squad of white dudes that you're going to go do your thing with, right? But down here, it's not like that, man. It's not like that. It's totally different, man. So no, the answer to your question is no. I wasn't like brought up like this, embedded in my head, not like that. But gradually, man, as you're doing years behind the wall, you can see things for what they're worth. And I say that, meaning a lot of things, man. Not just because race-wise, but because everything, man. You know, out here on the street, you might work hard and get off and slam some beers or smoke a J. Ain't none of that going on in prison. Yeah, they got it, but not like as freely and as used to as you are out here. You know, you're all the way clear-headed in there. You can see things for really what they were. But going back to the jails, man, it's hard on white dudes down here. White dudes are, you know, it's almost like it's easy money, like it's sweet. And that's from any jail, I would say, from my experience, from Orlando on down. Okay. You know, and a lot of the times you don't have white dudes standing up straight in that. Okay. But you have some dudes that being said that there is real white dudes down here that will straighten that, you know, and it's going exactly back to my point where, you know, what I first said, you know, how you're not used to it. And I hope you stay subscribed, man. I hope we go to
Definitely.
All right. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, we so used to white, and I have no problem with it. I don't know if I said I'm uncomfortable with it. I have no problem, but it was just weird because we so used to white people doing stuff behind the scenes and black people doing stuff out in the open. Like, even with comedy, I do stand-up comedy. Black comics, we openly say white jokes, but you don't hear that many white comics saying too many black jokes. It's like,
I agree.
We can do it, but you can't. I know that's much. That's how it goes.
No,
I know
right.
your mindset. You guys can do it. Why can't we have this power? I know that's how it goes because I'm from the hood. So the C word is said out in the open with no problem. It comes out natural. You know, I have a father that grew up in the civil rights, all of that old school Motown era. It comes out natural. And that's why I said that, because I watched the channel and I'm like, this is my question. Is it pride or is it racism? Because I see you got the bolts on your arm also. And that's like a couple of things you said, Matt, on your channel. Like you said, you had Charleston White on there one time and you said, this is probably the only time you guys will see a black guy on my channel. And I'm just like, that look like it goes a little bit beyond pride. Like, then certain things you say in your videos, like you have a video titled Tyrone or Jermaine, you'll make fun of the way black. That's what I want to get to. Like, is it pride or is it racism? Like, talk to me, man. Let the viewers know.
All right. You're giving me a lot right now. You're going a lot with it. All right. But let me try to break down all what you said. All right. Comedy. You're a comedian. All right. Dave Chappelle, one of the greats or not? What was he? You know, what's one of his funniest skits, man?
The one with Chip.
It could be Tyrone, or some people think.
Right.
Is his race stuff not funny?
Right.
All right. It is funny, man, and he should absolutely be able to say that. And so should a white guy on the reverse side. Maybe the white guy is not as big as Chappelle, but listen, Chappelle, take what you see right here out of the picture for a second, as hard as that is to say. Man, I crack up about Dave Chappelle. There's no, I think him making fun of the white dude, that is funny to me. That's normal. That is normal, okay? So, to my thing with Charleston White, for the only black guy that'll be on my channel. Probably shouldn't have said that. But listen, man, I give you, I didn't think that you'd be open to do this, and I kind of came to you. You know what I mean? I'll have more about you on my channel. I'll give anybody a shot on my channel. It's not like that. I even have another dude who has a CDL school. A lot of people don't see it. It's on my playlist. It's a black dude who he did some Fed time and he started a CDL school, man. His name is a Cigar Boss on Instagram. Got him on there. But I don't know, man. People see it for what it's worth on YouTube, and maybe they won't come at me directly, man. But I don't have a problem having any black people on my YouTube channel. It's just that no one will reach out. So when I said that, trust me, I have to hear that a lot. What you say, you know, it's not like that. It's not like it's an open shut door for black people over there. All right, comedy, Charleston White. What else did you just say?
I think you covered everything, man. I think you because I'm getting ready to go into the Department of Corrections and just try to get to the bottom of this, because I've interviewed other white guys on the channel. Like I interviewed a guy named Jake, and I asked Jake this question. I said, because Jake was getting kind of like, he was getting finessed at the beginning of his sentence. He was getting finessed. He learned how to move. But I asked Jake, I say, did you have a strong dislike for black people when you came out of prison after what you went through in prison? And he told me right there on this camera, he said, yes, I'll be lying if I said I didn't. And I hear it from what you guys go through from when my cousins come home from prison, when my friends come home from prison. I visited friends up in Sago Palm. I've been to the Indian River to visit my brother, the JIT camp. So when they come home, I know what you guys go through. So let me ask you this, because you did 2 different bids, right? On your first bid, because you was bumping. You was a bumping white boy. You was fighting gang members. You was going in. People vouched for you. You went hard. My question to you was, before all that bumping came, all good, it's all good. Let me reiterate the question. Okay. I watched a lot of your videos, man. I'm talking about big fan, man. These are fact. You and Viking both, big fan. Not to mention Vikings from Palm Beach County. But let me ask you this, man. You was going hard. You was fighting gang members. You was doing your thing. Vikings said you should have been a UFC fighter. You did your thing. People vouched for you and everything. You held it down for a white boy from everything I heard and seen. But my question to you is, was you always holding it down, or did you get finessed a few times? Did you get stepped down on a few times and it was like, man, fuck this, I ain't going through that no more? Or did you step in there solid from the very first day?
In jail, yeah, for sure, man. For sure they try to finesse me, man. And absolutely, man, absolutely. And you know, it's tough because, you know, it's tough because, you know, in jail, I'm Dolo, you know what I mean? Listen, you could be bumping as hard as you can. You could be knocking everything out. You could be a UFC fighter, man. You cannot knock out 6, 7 dudes at once. I don't care how good you can fight. It's just not going to happen. But in prison, man, it's a little different because, listen, I'm not a small guy. I've never been a small guy. So the average white dude, like you said, with your cousin from, and especially your family member that came home from Brevard, I'm sure he's told you crazy stories, which are different because from JITs to adult camp is a total different element. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, for sure. Coming home, listen, anybody sitting here, just the time that I've done, man, white or black, to say that they've come out to the free world and not look at things the same way that they did inside, that's a hard bridge to break, and it takes time to do it. You know what I mean? But for sure, yes, absolutely, man. You know, and I would say it's worse for the white dudes because, man, well, no, not. I'll say it's about equal. Right here. For the white dudes, you always have people trying to finesse, trying to get over. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've gone through with bloods and stuff like that, man. But it's just like, you know, it's almost like they're looking at, you know, me and others as dog food or whatever, and there's a select few that's going to stand up, you know. So of course, that's years, man, months you have to cross off, and it's everyday occurrence. So of course, man. And the flip side of things with, you know, brown and black people, man, they get it a lot, especially in northern Florida. I'm sure your family members can tell you about this with, you know, the COs in there. Man, hey, look, so it's the same thing. If, you know, maybe a white dude gets it from going through it and always having to be defensive, and, you know, you have to go really hard, man, being a white dude. And it's doing the YouTube thing. It's crazy because people will, you know, they want to attack your character, man, you know, and stuff like that. And a lot of the times with the comments, I'm just like, man, you could not live in these shoes. Like, and a lot of people on YouTube, yeah, I do clown about a lot of white guys acting black and stuff. It's not towards black people when I say that. Even with the Charleston White thing, I got Charleston White. Listen, I reached out to Charleston White. Okay, he's big, and you could say you do comedy, and as far as black culture, you could say he's doing his thing for black people right now, right? Okay. I reached out to him, and I tried to help him because I learned this YouTube thing. I'm real good with it. And I helped the guy, man. I helped him. And in return, he's giving me shout outs and stuff. And it's counteracted good. But man, if I was a really racist person in my heart, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have stepped to you. You know what I mean? But I am hard on the white guys that try to act black. And a lot of the times, that gets misconstructed, man, and I don't have an answer for it, but I'm hard on it, and a lot of that's animosity, man. A white dude in Florida prison. There's a guy in your example coming and trying to step down, or maybe me and a couple of my bros got a sack, a Tucci, some cigarettes, whatever it was. That's something that we put together and we're doing just to live day by day. Now the Bloods or whatever the gang is going to come over here and try to step down, like you say. The white dudes, I'm not talking about white guys that listen to rap and stuff like that. Everybody likes different types of music, different types of comedy. That's normal. But, a lot of these white dudes will get in there and they'll be just looking at it as it goes down, or cheering it on instead of helping. It's the same white dude that wants to buy cigarettes or wants to buy the Tucci or the dip or whatever. But now it happens so much, man. It's so hard to explain on YouTube, but I know you have family, so I already know they're giving you these stories. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I keep on hearing that white guys don't stick up for each other in the Florida Department of Corrections. So let me ask you this. If you've seen a white guy maybe 2 bunks down getting stepped down on by blacks, are you going to stick up for him?
Maybe. Maybe. It depends. If let's use an example of, let's say his MP3 player, right? They have those in prison. I think they have MP5s now, or a tablet, I heard they have. If he's letting everybody borrow the MP, everybody borrow his radio, no, I'm not going to help him. He opened all them doors for that trouble. You know what I mean? He's friendly with it on that aspect. So absolutely not. If I mess with him, yeah, I would step in. But again, that's a lot. That would be a lot on me. You know what I mean? Because the 2 times that I'm in prison, 2 different ball games. The first time was like, it was tough, but it was less gang oriented. I'll give you a good example from myself. The first time that I was in prison, I did the bid, okay? Got into some stuff, seen some stuff, but didn't have to get down with no click. Didn't have to bang, didn't have to not even come really close to that, right? Got out, years went by. The second time that I went in, it's completely gang oriented. Completely gang oriented. Everybody's in something, and I 100% without a doubt blame that on the JIT camps. Like, who would you say was in Brevard?
No, my brother was in Indian River, 97. I went to visit him.
Oh, 97? Well, he could tell you, man, it's banged out in there, man. You know what I mean? And the JIT camps, man, they bring it right into the adult side. But, I'm in adult side of both these camps, and, man, it's ganged out in there, man. So the first time I kind of, did my time and got out. The second time, it was completely a ball game. I had already experienced this. I had already been through the system. I already Wasn't no greenhorn, wasn't no Newcock, but I'm like, man, everybody's banging something. And man, look, I almost did at that point in time. I had 2 patches, you know. I had 2 patches given to me, but I didn't take them. I made it to where it was almost handed to me both times. I didn't take them though because, and I'm glad I didn't take them. You know what I mean? I'm not in any gang, so let me set that record right there straight.
These were for the viewers watching. These were patches for the Unforgiveness prison gang.
Yeah, one was Unforgiven. Yeah.
Okay. And
the other one was for more.
You seem like, with the thought process and everything, you seem like the candidate for the Unforgiven gang. Why didn't you join the Unforgivens? What reason?
Man, to put it simple, that's a prison gang. Okay, it's just a prison gang. I have friends that are in that gang. You know, I have people on my channel doing interviews, and I used to try to tell the dudes, we were all in dorms together. You know, you get transferred, go to the box, anything can happen to you. You get split up. I was trying to school, you know, some of the younger cats, you know, don't join that, because any gang, if it's a prison gang and you get out of prison, what worth is it to you? What worth is it to you? You have all the rah-rah and you have all the everything going on inside the prison. You know, when you get out, you join something that got created and you belong in there. Man, there's a lot more in life than the prison. You know what I mean? So I just didn't do it. You know what I mean? It was, you're right. I do look like a candidate. So I was almost given 2 patches for just doing, you know, what I always did. You know, I just didn't let anybody disrespect me and catch the ball, catch the grid. And listen, size-wise, I was bigger than a lot of them dudes. There's a few dudes that, you know, weren't my size, but of course, you know, they're gonna want to patch me in and this and that. So I just didn't take it, man, because I don't really get down with any type of gang, you know, whether it's a white, black, or Spanish. I don't promote that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think it's for anybody. I don't think it's for white. I don't think it's for black. I think nobody should join any gang, you know, especially inside of the prison, because you're getting involved in something that could, you know, is real. And, you know, coming out here, you have to really, you know, it's just not where it's at.
Got you. And speaking of gangs, have you personally ever gotten into a fight with gang members?
Yes.
And can you talk to the viewers about an incident when you got into a fight with a gang member?
Which one? Which gang?
The Bloods. You ever got into it with the Bloods?
Yes. This is going to go on the internet. So, well, it doesn't even, what I was going to say is for a white dude to get into it with a Blood, but I just caught myself saying that. It doesn't even matter. Black or white. Being non-affiliated, man. This is tough in prison. This is tough in Florida, because if a Blood tries you, Blood, Crip, GD, whatever. If one of them try you inside of prison, you have to really gotta take it there. You really gotta be on that, and you really gotta have somebody willing to go behind you, man, because you're not gonna get a fair one. They politic when you fight. Somebody could straight up just disrespect you, try you, steal from you, and you know it's that gang member, and you hit the wall, man, you're not allowed to slam them. You got to chunk them, man. You can't. If you go to scoop them, you're gonna get jumped real quick. If you do them dirty, like say you're in the grid, you think you're set up, and you're banging them, and you knock them down, you gotta let them stand up. This is politics that you got to know, man, because if you get in there and you get the better of the Blood, his whole stuff, his brothers are watching. They're actually right there on the front line, all strapped up. So the second you go to scoop him, you could be losing the fight. He could be putting paws on you, and you drop your shoulders and you go to scoop them. Man, they're coming in and kicking dog crap out of you. Okay, if you knock one down, bam, bam, and you go to kick them, man, they're coming. You have to really learn how to politically fight, you know, and it's nuts. So my advice, man, is anybody who's looking at time, you know that, man. Don't just think, you know, fighting a gang member is going to get you some face or, you know, instant respect. You really have to know how to do it, you know, for sure.
Okay. I keep hearing about the prisons up in the Panhandle. And for the viewers that's watching, the Panhandle in Florida is like North Florida. Then when it curves, how you know the state of Florida curves, they have a lot of prisons close to Alabama. Let me ask you this, because I keep on hearing that up in North Florida, it's like Clan Central as far as the guards go.
Correct.
Let me ask you this, being a white inmate. Do the white guards in North Florida help you guys out? Are they bringing in weapons for you guys? Are they favoriting you guys? Can you speak on that?
What I'll say about that, you're right. You're right. I don't know if they're in the Klan, but I don't know if you're meaning that like literally or like as a.
I'm just saying, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, they could be. I don't know, but you know, they're all rednecks up there, man. They treat everybody like dirt. They'll favor somebody like me, but not off top. You know, they put me in the box too. I had to all the way earn it. And the way that I earned it is I got into it in confinement. I got into it with my roommate, and you know, they really will peep you out, man, and they'll treat everybody like dirt, but they're good old boys, man. It's like this up north where you're talking about in the Panhandle. You know, once you prove yourself or whatever, it's easier to maybe work them like that. Yes, that so in a sense, for the white guys with gold teeth and, you know, the black dudes, it's harder for them up in northern Florida, where, you know, where the handle is to Florida. But when you go down south, especially like down south, it's completely reversed. So I would get no love at that point, and because it's so different, man. In the Panhandle, it's like 98% white dude COs, and the rest are like white women COs. Down in South Florida, there's a lot of black COs, a lot of black women COs, and then you have, you know, the white COs and, you know, white female COs and men COs, but it's a complete reverse. You know what I mean? So, but there's a lot of real crazy prisons in that Panhandle, and it gets real up there. But I would say, you know, once this trust is earned, you know, yeah. The answer, yeah, yes.
Okay, and yeah, I want to stick with the Panhandle for a few minutes. And you said that they don't lean towards you off top, and you said after that you had to fight your cellmate. You got in a fight with your cellmate, and you earned it. What did you fight your cellmate over? How did that happen? Can you speak? Because I know cell fights is got to be dangerous when there's nobody in there to stop it. You got the bars with the bunk beds. Can you speak on that cell fight?
Yeah, man. This dude, I had a dude in the cell with me, man. He was all right at first, but the dude was a bug. He was a black dude. Don't let everybody get all this mixed up. Let me explain the story. I haven't even said this one on my channel yet, but he was a black dude about my size, but the dude was real bugged out. I think he was like a psych patient, man, seriously. He was fishing for medication from this other dude, and he sent the stamps, and the other dude sent the medication, whatever, and their sign languages and back and forth. It's a bunch of drama with that. He couldn't read sign language. I had to read everything for him, and the dude kept telling me about his case. I feel bad for the dude because he had like 25 years, but he was always asking me all these psych questions about his case. I mean, dude, you're in a cell. you're in a cell all day, all night, you know what I mean? And he kept asking me the same questions. And I'm like, bro, I don't care about your psychotic case. He kept just drilling me. And listen, we got into it. And it's very dangerous, man. I didn't want to do that. But couple words were exchanged and this and that. And we ended up thumping. There's some crazy COs back in confinement that are very known for a lot of foul stuff, is what I'll say, and had no idea they were even around. The dude was like 2 doors down, just watching and hearing it. And, you know, I'm stepping over the dude after he's on the ground, and the dude walked by and he just was looking in the window. I didn't know what was going to happen. I hadn't earned any trust. But just by doing that, you know, things were, after that point, things were a little better for my stay, I guess, after that point, you know what I mean? But the dude was a psych patient, man. He was going back on appeal. And before any of this, man, I was trying to help him. I'm giving my honest opinion and just speaking to him. He didn't like what I was saying legally that I thought was going to happen. And he was just like arguing real loud. And at the same time, man, I had some stuff going on in the house. I'm in confinement. I can't get on the phone. You know, a letter, if you write a letter at best, it's 3 days there and 3 days back, you know, on the streets. Just remember, in prison, there's no mail on the weekend and this and that. It's stressful times. I don't know. But
and like I said, I've seen a lot of stuff being paid. So some of these questions I'm asking is some videos you might have talked about already, but I'm trying to get the viewers into the mind of confinement, because every time I interview a Florida that's been to Florida prison, they speak about how harsh confinement is and the things that happen back there. My question to you, has a guard ever placed you in somebody's cell that might have been a child molester or a rapist and told you to go handle that for them? Have you ever been through that you could speak on?
Not a molester. No, not a molester. But I did tell a video on my channel about a CO that put somebody in the room with me, a Spanish dude, and you know, he was slinging me dip for it and everything else. It was weird, man. I will say this, why, you know, we're on your channel right quick. Confinement, to me, I think is complete. I think they need to figure something else out. I really do think it'll affect your brain, especially in Florida, especially how dirty it is, the conditions and how they do people back there. Confinement is a no-go for me and just about everybody else that's been back there. Being said that, you know, when you really do things in prison, you know, they have camps, you know, CM camps. Did your family ever tell you about them?
Yes.
Man, they really need to figure that out, because that I think will mess people up. I think that, you know, just imagine getting CM'd and you have 3 years left. You're in this room for 3 years, man. There's not a lot of people I've ever met that are that strong. You know, I've never been locked up with a lot of people. The only person I know to ever be that strong is, I watched The Hurricane the other night. You ever see that movie, The Boxer?
Yes.
That was his life story. I don't know how he did it. I mean, he wasn't in confinement, but the dude never left the cell. Right. That's a freaking real strong mind, man. I think they need to figure something else out for confinement, man. Yeah, he did put somebody in my cell for me to smash. It wasn't a child molester though. It was a different dude, and I did it, and I instantly regretted it. And then, so I've told this story, so I'll speak on it a little more. After it happened, he gave me, you know, he slid me dip, he slid me trays, and it happened. And he didn't spray me; he sprayed the other guy. But I went into instant paranoia about what I'm speaking of right now. You're in a room by yourself. So I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I wasn't CM'd. I was just in confinement. I had to get back out to the compound And I don't know if this dude's waiting for me, gonna stab me up. You know, if people are gonna think I'm working for the police, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? And so sure, I got super paranoid back there. Man, it'll mess your head up, man. I really think that, you know, not only Florida, but every state, they got to figure something else out than confinement. It's a tricky subject, man. I have Googled about this. I have looked into this myself. You know, what else do you do with, you know, inmates when, you know, they're being violent or they break the rules or whatever? Where do you put them? How do you isolate them? But, you know, that will mess people's head up, man. I stand behind that one, you know, really will.
Let me go back to the guard situation as we close on this part one. What would have happened if you told that guard, no, I'm not doing that? Would he have played with your food? What would have happened?
Yeah. Well, he kind of finessed me, man. I'm not gonna lie. A different type of finesse. We talked in the beginning of the interview about, you asked me if any black dudes have tried to finesse me or whatever else. You know, it's one thing to stand up to an inmate, right? Especially if you want to prove something or whatever, and then there's a politics behind, is he gang related, is he not gang related? So there's decisions there, but when a CO presses you, it's tough because, yeah, man, they give you a ghost tray. They'll slide a ghost tray in there. So there's cameras back in confinement, CM. You know, there's cameras because people will file lawsuits, man. They're really good with the pen and paper. You know, people have sued, you know, the state and stuff like that. So at some point they put camera system back there. And, you know, anytime they spray an inmate with Black Jesus, it's got to be video recorded. Feeding time has to be video recorded. You know, everybody knows the tray thing that they push, the brown or gray trays, they slide the door flap. So on camera, that flap comes open, the camera showing him slide a tray in there. You're good. You're good. Now it's on camera, right? But when I get the tray, there's nothing on it. I beat on the door. Hey, there's nothing here. Shut up, inmate. It's on camera. Gave you a tray. You're dead. You're dead. So he, you know, and not just that, before he put the dude in the room, before I even knew the dude was going to go in my room, he was doubling up my trays, tripling up my trays, can of dip up under the door, you know. Where's my dip at? I dip to this day. Oh, my can went, but here's one, you know. He slides, you know, a couple of dips. So he kind of, yeah, he finessed me. It's the old saying, ain't nothing for free. I didn't know what he wanted. So, you know, then then he asked me, you know, at this point, I kind of owe him. And I could tell him F you or F off or everything else, but it's not just that simple because I'd be getting ghost trays. He's already did what he did for me. And man, every time I got into confinement, another thing that's dirty back there, every time I'm going to use fighting for an example. If you get caught strapping, it's a 30-day DR. So you go back in confinement for 30 days. There's no air condition in Florida. It's just fans and exhaust fans. If you have your shirt off, you know, and they walk around, you just broke policy. That's another 15 days. 30 becomes 45. You know, and that's if they want to get you by the book. Okay? If I tell them no, I'm going to be getting ghost trays. Who knows what is going to happen, but you can guarantee it. I'm going to be back there for 3 times longer. He don't have to even hit me with a no shirt. He can just say, oh, you're fighting? 60 days back there. You're fighting in confinement at 60 days. He can people get nailed back there. You can go back there for 15, 30 days and they're back there 6-7 months. You know, it's your word versus their word. It's the same scenario where, hey, there's nothing on this tray. You're dead. You're dead. I mean, so yeah, I did it, but it wasn't like nothing that I'm proud of, or I don't know, man. It's just prison, man. I don't know. Got you.
I'm gonna save a lot for part 2, but let me ask you this last question as we close. How was your adjustment coming home from prison into the civilian world?
It's tough, man. It's tough, but a lot of that, man, a lot of it being tough is I never had my priorities straight, man. And listen, everybody's a little bit institutionalized, man, and I don't think it's spoken about enough on the prison stuff shows on YouTube. Everybody's a little institutionalized, man, and you got to kick that, and you got to break. You gotta leave that world in there. It's hard. It's not easy either. You know, I went back. So it definitely wasn't easy for me. But the second time coming home, I just took things slow. I moved away from people, places, and things. And man, I just really got away from everybody, man. And thank God, because for the first time ever, I did the probation. And man, I progressively started getting things in life, and I've been out a long time now and doing the YouTube, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all. The adjustment is very hard. It's very hard. You know, it's very hard.
Okay. And let me, is this a myth? People come home from prison because you're doing good now. You bought yourself a house. You driving trucks, CDL. I see you with your headset on your Instagram, your pictures, all that. Salute to my boy, Matt. Let me ask you this, man. I hear people come home from prison and say, I can't get a job, I'm a felon. Is that the truth or is that an excuse?
I think that's an excuse. I really do. You can get a job, man. You can get a job. It just takes humbling yourself, man. It takes humbling yourself, you know. Are you going to get, you know, walk out the gate and make $20 an hour? Probably not. But I think that's just an excuse that a lot of people use. And it's 100% positive. You know, CDL, black man told me this when I was in. Never forget, he was from Broward. This guy I've been to prison a bunch of times. Forget his name. Some Broward, real stocky dude. He used to sleep by me, and black man told me to drive trucks. Here it is for the first time on your channel. But I remember picking his brain one day. I'm like, man, a lot of people don't know. In Florida, they have a CDL. At some camp, I don't know what it is. It's very, very hard to get to this camp, take this course, because just imagine, you're in prison, everybody's trying to get there, right? The waiting list is like forever long. But I remember just having the conversation with him. I'm like, he was a Muslim guy. I said, you know, why would I want to even do the course? Because they're not going to hire me. Same thing we're talking about. You know, felon. And he told me, he's just like, hey man, look, I've been driving trucks my whole life. He's the one who broke it down to me. You know, CDL, companies want people with some struggle in their life because you're carrying their goods. You know, they don't want some greenhorn driving a truck and you know, somebody sticks him up or something like back in the day. But you know, this is years ago, me and him had this conversation, and he won me over in it. But just think of things that are happening now in the streets and stuff with, you know, what's going on in America. You know, they don't want somebody driving a truck to make, you know, a stupid decision when that's happening in front of them. You got to have somebody with a little bit of, that's had some struggle, you know what I mean? And I always tell people, man, if you're coming home, a lot of people do the same thing, man, just like myself. Come home, try to get that job, maybe you hustle a little bit, whatever you do. But hey, man, put it to the side. And if you do that, I'm not telling anybody to hustle, but let's just be real, people do it. You know, put it to the side and get you something, man. And, you know, CDL is never the wrong way to go, man. You won't have a problem with having a felony on your back at all, man, doing that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's easy when Florida Prison Talk. This is part 1 of 3 with my boy Matt from Whiteboy Lockdown Radio. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. You got anything to say before we end part 1, Matt?
Big shout out to your channel, man, and you for doing the interview. I appreciate it. We'll do part 2 whenever you're ready. And hey, man, I appreciate everybody. Stop by the channel and make sure you hit like, subscribe, share, and like this video on the way out. My man, Florida Prison Talk.
Appreciate that. White Boy Lockdown Radio, salute.